2026 Toyota Corolla Cross, the practical SUV most people actually need. What if I told you the 2026 Toyota Corolla Cross might be the most useful SUV on the market, without being flashy or expensive? This isn't a luxury crossover or a muscle SUV, it's the kind of practical, everyday vehicle that actually solves real problems for real people. Toyota has packed in some surprising upgrades this year, and a few features that most drivers will never expect in this class. But here's the real question: is it actually worth choosing over bigger, more popular SUVs, or is it just a smarter version of the same old compact crossover? Stay tuned, because the answer might surprise you. So, here's the deal: the 2026 Toyota Corolla Cross isn't just another compact SUV. Toyota built its reputation on reliability, low maintenance, and strong resale value, and the Corolla Cross is their answer for people who want an SUV that feels smart, not flashy. This model has been quietly winning over families, commuters, and anyone who wants a practical ride without the headaches that come with bigger, more expensive SUVs. Now in 2026, Toyota has refreshed the Corolla Cross with a cleaner design, more tech inside, and a few upgrades that make it feel more modern than ever. And that's why this launch matters. The compact SUV market is crowded, but Toyota's trying to stand out by focusing on everyday usefulness, not just power or luxury. In this video, we're going to look at what's new, what's actually worth it, and whether the Corolla Cross can still compete with bigger names in its class. And later, we'll test how it performs in real life, so stick around because the results might not be what you expect. Alright, now let's get into what makes the 2026 Toyota Corolla Cross actually feel different from the rest of the compact SUV crowd. From the outside, it's not trying to be aggressive or loud, it's clean, confident, and practical. The front grille is sharper, the headlights are slimmer, and the overall stance looks more modern and less budget-friendly than previous models. But the real improvement isn't just the styling, it's the way Toyota has balanced comfort and utility in one package. Inside, the Corolla Cross is where it starts to stand out. The cabin feels more refined than you'd expect in this price range, with soft-touch materials in the right places and a dashboard that feels uncluttered. The seats are comfortable, supportive, and the ride height gives you a clear view of the road without feeling like you're driving a giant SUV. And for anyone who hates cramped back seats, the rear space is surprisingly roomy. You can actually fit taller passengers without them feeling squeezed. Now, the tech is where Toyota has stepped up. The infotainment screen is larger and more responsive than before, and it supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is basically a must for US buyers today. There's also a more advanced driver assistance suite, including lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, and automatic emergency braking. These features make it feel safer and more modern, even if you're not buying it for luxury. But here's the part that really matters: performance and fuel efficiency. The Corolla Cross isn't a sports car, and it doesn't pretend to be. It's powered by a smooth, efficient engine that's designed for daily driving, the kind of driving most people do every day. That means it accelerates confidently in city traffic, handles highway merging without hesitation, and delivers strong fuel economy that keeps your gas expenses low. If you're someone who cares more about saving money and avoiding maintenance headaches than chasing horsepower, this is exactly the kind of car that makes sense. Of course, no car is perfect. The Corolla Cross is not the quickest in its class, and if you're expecting a sporty drive, you'll probably feel a bit underwhelmed. The cabin is comfortable, but it won't feel luxurious compared to higher-end SUVs. And while the ride is smooth, the steering can feel a little light if you're used to a sportier vehicle. But the big question is this: does the Corolla Cross deliver enough value to justify choosing it over a slightly bigger SUV, or a more exciting crossover? In the next section, we're going to reveal the real-world test results, including the surprising fuel economy numbers and the final pricing that could change the entire value equation. Stay tuned, because the verdict might surprise you. Now comes the moment we've been waiting for, the real-world test. Because you can read all the specs in the world, but the truth is what happens when you actually drive it. So I took the 2026 Toyota Corolla Cross out on the road, and the first thing that hits you is how calm and steady it feels. The engine is smooth, the acceleration is confident enough for everyday driving, and the ride quality is surprisingly quiet for a compact SUV. You don't get that loud, choppy feeling you sometimes get in cheaper crossovers. But here's the surprise: when you push it a little harder on the highway, it doesn't fall apart. It stays stable, the steering stays composed, and the cabin stays calm. That's not something you always get in this segment. It's not sporty, but it's consistent, and that consistency is what makes it feel like a grown-up SUV. The biggest shock, though, came from the fuel economy. In a mix of city and highway driving, it returned numbers that were better than I expected. If you're a daily commuter or someone who drives long distances often, that alone can save you hundreds of dollars a year. And when you combine that with Toyota's reputation for reliability, it starts to feel like a car that doesn't just make sense, it makes financial sense. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but what about power? And what about fun? The Corolla Cross doesn't win on excitement. It wins on being practical, efficient, and stress-free. And here's the cliffhanger. When we compare it to a few bigger competitors, the Corolla Cross starts to look like the smarter choice, but only if the price is right. So here's the final verdict on the 2026 Toyota Corolla Cross. It may not be the most exciting SUV, but it's one of the smartest choices in the compact SUV segment. This is a car that doesn't try to impress you with flashy features or aggressive styling. It impresses you with real-world practicality, comfort, and reliability. If you want a vehicle that feels stress-free to own and drive, the Corolla Cross is a strong pick. Let's break it down. The biggest strengths are its comfort, fuel efficiency, and everyday usability. The cabin is quiet, the ride is smooth, and the interior feels more refined than you'd expect for the price. The technology is modern enough for most drivers, and the safety features give you peace of mind. The real surprise is the fuel economy. It's genuinely impressive for a compact SUV, and that matters a lot in today's market where gas prices still influence buying decisions. But it's not perfect. The Corolla Cross won't satisfy buyers looking for power or a sporty driving experience. It also doesn't feel as premium as some competitors, and if you want a more luxurious interior or a more powerful engine, you'll need to look elsewhere. So who is this car for? It's ideal for commuters, small families, and anyone who wants a reliable, low-stress SUV that's easy to live with. If you're buying your first SUV, or you want something practical without overpaying, this is the kind of car that makes sense. In the current US market, where buyers want value and reliability more than ever, the Corolla Cross is likely to stay popular, and it could push other brands to focus more on practicality than gimmicks. Now I want to hear from you. Would you choose the Corolla Cross over a bigger SUV? Or would you still go for more power and style? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if this helped, and don't forget to subscribe for more honest car reviews.